We're here, we're queer, and we're not going back. We're here, we're queer, and we're not going back. Abortion is health care.
I'm here to support the protests against the inauguration that was organized by the DFW Anti-War Committee, and they are doing a lot of really good work to kind of get people in the community together to take the first step of rejecting this kind of fascism that we're facing. What I brought out today was just a focus on most of my anti-fascist kind of work and also queer educational zines I like to make. So I like to kind of start the conversation with a one-on-one type of thing, and then I like to make art that will inspire people and empower them to keep fighting for what's right. Art is kind of everything. That image can really do a lot of things. It can bring a group together. It can bring you under a banner, or it could bring you under an emblem or a logo or an image or anything that kind of provides a sense of resistance, as well as a sense of community, and something that I don't know, it kind of can bring people together to see empowering images, and they can kind of change things for the better. You can see all the flags that people have out here. Those are images too. Big flags like that can give empowering images to people, and that can help us all kind of feel whole inside. And art is a very healing thing too.
Please let this be a call to get involved with your local abortion fund. Stay connected and know that there's support in our own community. Now more than ever, it's time to engage in solidarity and know that the fabric of this...
I think that, we're surrounded by the national and the state politics, right? What happens in Denton happens in the context of these larger events. So, for example, there was a speaker that came to city council and started talking about how they wanted to have the Denton police be authorized to essentially hunt for undocumented immigrants, right? And that he came to council and pitched that in a public comment, right? So there's a lot of questions of how does Denton buck the trend, right? How do we be a place that is inclusive and welcoming? How do we resist these people who are going to come and say, well, we should, join in the national or state movement of making things worse for everyone, right? And we have somewhat limited powers because the state of Texas is just so powerful, but we do have powers that we can exercise and keep Denton welcoming and safe. Number one, not authorize our police to arrest undocumented immigrants and do all of that. But also I think a lot of it is in some ways just cultural. Denton is a college town. It's a place that is much more safe and welcoming than many places. I took a road trip recently. I was in Odessa, Texas, and I was just buying some Popeyes, and the guy behind me in line identified that I was queer, and he had an open carry, and he just kind of reaches for it and keeps his hand on it and stares me down the entire time that I'm in line. That's never happened to me in Denton. And so just making sure that people who need the safety of a town that is more welcoming and inclusive, keeping housing prices down, making it so that if you are disabled, if you can't afford a car, that you can get around, and this can be a space that is somewhere that you can live and flourish. That's something that is very much the purview of local government. I think we should be doing that.
No KKK, no racist USA. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. My body, my choice. Su cuerpo, su decisión. Su cuerpo, su decisión. Su cuerpo, su decisión. Su cuerpo, su decisión. My body.
Number one, we can continue to execute on some of the stuff that we've already done, right? We technically passed a Prop B marijuana decriminalization ordinance, and we have not really implemented it, though. We've been very resistant to implementing that. So, continuing movement on that, making sure that it gets implemented, working with the Public Transportation Authority, because I've got friends and they use wheelchairs, and it's really hard for them to get around, right? So just continuing on that front, and just bringing housing prices down, sound housing policy. This is kind of my thing, but it's really, in my view, kind of at the center of everything. California, San Francisco can be as welcoming and queer inclusive and, anti-racist as it wants, but I can't afford to live there. So it doesn't really matter to me, right? And I don't want Denton to become like that.
The resource fair is here so that you can connect to an organization. Because going forward into the next 4 years, we'll need to get involved in organizations. This is not just a one-day thing. This is a movement, and we need to keep joining the movement.